Finishing. After each of the processes in our training videos, we've explained the steps required to get the surface back to the 400 grit finish at which it is supplied. The level of finish can be increased by using higher grit finishing pads, and by following our finishing guidelines, you can achieve the level of finish specified by the end user. Here we will demonstrate the techniques required to produce a consistent finish. In this case, we are using an abrasive pad which would always be the last level for all finishes. Please refer to our supporting literature for advice on finishing levels. The finishing technique is important to ensure an even finish across the whole of the work surface. To do this, the method used is to alternate between a north-south, east-west finishing pattern. A minimum of 2 repeats of each finishing pattern per grit level is required. After each pass with the sander, it is important to wipe any residual dust from the surface, as this will cause added friction between the sander and the surface and lead to uneven finishing. It's important as you move through the finishing process to slowly feather out to the rest of the work surface that has not been processed, so as, once again, to ensure an even finish. Also, make sure that as well as removing any dust from the surface, to also do so from the sanding pad. The finishing process must also be applied to the edges to ensure a complete and even finish. This includes the top edge, which needs smoothing over following any profiling. Finally, wipe all the residual dust away with the cloth. The end result is a consistent and even pre-polishing finish. When polishing the worktop, apply a good amount of countertop magic onto the surface, and then, by hand, use a polishing sponge to spread the polish evenly. Using the sander, the polish can then be worked into the surface, once again using the north-south, east-west patterns as with the finishing. This, again, ensures that the polishing is done in an even manner. Move then to the front edge and repeat the process, including the top edge at the front. The result is a final, even and consistent polish across the surface. Remember, effective extraction is essential. Remove debris between finishing patterns and grit levels to ensure consistency of finish. Ensure the sander is level at all times and the pressure applied to it remains even. Employ a 50% overlap on all north-south, east-west sanding motions. Feather with each change in grit level by 1 sanding pad width.